Hi, I'm Marie Eldredge. I'm an educator in the Handy Quilter Studio, and today I'm going to demonstrate some of the rulers on a boat quilt I'm working on. Today I'm going to do some piano keys or straight line stitches in the border. When they are stitched, they kind of look like rope, and with the anchor fabric, it kind of goes with the boat. So that's kind of the theme of the quilt that I'm going for. I'm going to use the mini scallop ruler. I like it because it's a little narrower and it fits good in my hand and I have good control. Also, it has the 1/4 inch line markings, and I'm going to use the ends to line up on my border so that I know I have my line straight. So I have my ruler base on. You always want to start with a ruler base, and I've put some twill tape in my clamps so that my ruler base doesn't bang into my clamps and I have plenty of room to work on the edge. So I'm going to start on this edge, and I'm going to move my hopping foot 1/4 inch until it comes to the stitch line, and then I'll line up with the ruler. So I'll have it lined up with both the ruler and with the hopping foot. So I'm just going to travel up here about 1/4 inch. And I'm lining up this line on the ruler, the 1/4 inch, with the stitch line. And then I'm going to put the top even here with my border so that I know I'm going to make a straight line. And I'm going over and back on the same line. Travel in the outside, so I don't have to be very careful about that. Then I'm going to line up again with the 1/4 inch line here with the ruler against the hopping foot. When you're using a ruler, you want to press against the ruler, press down on the ruler onto your ruler base, and also press with your hopping foot towards the ruler. You don't want to press too hard because then you can't move your machine easily. So travel in the outside, move up, back, travel up. I'm lining up here again. Moving up, travel in the outside, go till my hopping foot touches. And that's it. So this is what it looks like when it's finished. It sort of looks like rope. And I want to have a similar design somewhere else in the quilt. So I'm going to go over to the boats and do a repeating line like that and make it look like wood. So to do the boat, I'm using a center to trim guide and place it on there. So the inch line is at the top. Then I'm taking an air-soluble marking pen, and I'm marking down 1/2 inch, and I love this marker because it goes away in 24 to 48 hours. And I can just go inside these little holes in the center to trim guide with the tip of the pen and mark where I'm going to sew. So I just have a little dot on there that's going to guide me. That I can line up on. This time I'm going to use the mini ruler. This is awesome. It'll be total control of exactly where I want to sew. So we'll just start over here. All right, and I can see my lines, and I want to line up because I know the hopping foot is 1/4 inch, so I'm going to allow that all the way across. So I'm going to stitch all the way across, and then on my way back, I'm going to jog up and make some little wood-looking marks. So we'll go all the way across first. And I only want to sew where I have control of the ruler. All right, right there, I'm going to switch directions. Back across. And I'm just randomly making wood planks here. I'm going to sneak down the side to where my marks are. And you can barely see those little marks, but I can see them. So I can make the first line straight across. And I'm going to sneak back on the same line, and about right there, we'll kind of stagger the wood. And the last one. So I can see I can line up that 1/4 inch line. I know I'm about a 1/2 inch from the bottom all the way across. And this time I'm going to go up, make a line up here. Come across and make one line going down. And I think one more going up. So there's my mini ruler, worked perfect, great control, and there's my boat, and it looks sort of similar to the border, so I'm happy with it. In this border, I'm putting some arcs. Arcs look really good on a quilt that has a lot of straight lines. If you put circles in, it breaks up the square and it gives the quilt more of a dynamic, nice look to it. So what I've done is I've come across with one ruler and then back with another ruler, and then just wiggle stitched in between there. The things that you notice the most are the corner and also the very center. So you want to line up your center and line up your corner, and then if you need to fudge in between and kind of shift and put a little more space, you're able to do that without it being noticed so much. So I've already quilted this side, and I know that 5 fit across there. So I'm going to start in the corner over here, and I'm using our set of circle rulers. So the first one I'm going to use, I'm going to set the 4-inch circle ruler, and I'm lining up the diagonal line here so that it goes right from the corner to the seam, but I want it to leave a 1/4 inch so that I can stitch just inside there. So let's see, I'm going to start right here. Pull up my threads. Get my set. All right, so we're all lined up. I'm putting pressure on the ruler. Know that on circles you have a tendency to come off the side, so I'm very careful as I go around that curve. Stopping right there. And then I'll use the straight ruler. That's not too good. There we go. All right, and I'm going to sneak up just to the corner. Now I have the smallest one, the 2-inch, and I'm going to line that up on the diagonal as well. So I'll follow that around. And I have another round ruler that I can go just a little, like a 1/4 inch larger. And then I just wiggle in this seam, or in between there. And I'm back to the start so I can keep going across the quilt and finish out that border. Just sew the next one. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a dot in the center so that I know where the center of that is so that I can line up the next ruler. So I've gone across once around the outside. I'll use the ruler to come back. Right to my center. So now I'm going to line up the 2-inch and put the straight line right where the seam is, put the dot, the mark that I made, line that up, and now I'm going to sew across. Hold that really still. For my half square triangle border, I'm going to use the Versa tool. This is about a 4-inch arc, and I'm going to place it just so that when I sew, I'm a 1/4 inch from the corner so that I get that curve in there and end right in the seam line, right where it meets. And then I've already stitched this side of the border, so then I'll go straight up this side. So we'll put that in there, line it up so there's a 1/4 inch space here and a 1/4 inch from using the hopping foot to measure. So I'm going up, reverse it. Again, I'm going to leave about a 1/4 inch right there. Alright, now I'm going to use the straight side of the ruler and just go up the seam, stitch in the ditch, travel to the next spot. Alright, again I'm leaving a 1/4 inch here and a 1/4 inch at the top. Travel up. Switch the ruler, leave a 1/4 inch down here and a 1/4 inch from the top. And use the straight side to travel up. I'm just repeating that up the border and filling that in, and it's a nice way to fill that in, and it's just enough quilting. Okay, you can see in the center medallion of this quilt, I've done the same kind of quilt pattern going up and following along, traveling in the ditch, so that I have repeated the same quilting design also on the center. So I've done it somewhere else on the quilt. To do the sides, I just use the circle rulers, and each time I mark the diagonal lines so that I could make the rays that came out of that. So I totally found just the center, used the small ruler, and each time I changed rulers, I just marked where the lines were. Okay, to finish off in between the boats, I'm just doing almost a hurricane. This is the fun part. And then I'm just going to follow it back a 1/4 inch away. All right, from here you just start filling in. So we'll go this direction. And I'm just tucking into the seam on both sides into the stitch line. Okay, and here's what it looks like when it's finished. So there's my boat quilt. Hope you've learned some things and you can have a great day quilting.